friends, and welcome back to episode 2 of Social Scoop. This is a podcast by Your Soulcialmate. My name is Kristen, and I am the owner of Your Soulcialmate. So today we are going to be going over so much social media news. There was honestly so much that has happened in the last week, and I'm actually recording this episode a little bit early because Andrew and I will be on vacation while you're hearing this. So typically we'd even have more news. Our first piece of news is that Instagram has added new data analytics to provide marketers and creators with more performance insight. This is something that I love when Instagram does because I am a big numbers person. I really love to have a ton of information that I can dissect to find what I should do more of or do less of. So this is something that is available soon for business and creator accounts. I actually already have this on my account, so you should just update your app and see if yours looks a little different. These new performance insights are going to give you specific information on who's engaging with your content, so a little bit more detail than we typically have. So these new metrics that they're adding to insights are, I'm going to go over them. First, we have accounts engaged, and according to Instagram, quote, this will show the total number of accounts that interacted with your content in a given time period, which you can choose in that top left-hand corner. So accounts engaged is the first one that they're adding. The second metric that they're adding is engaged audience, which, quote, this data will provide demographic insights into the users that are engaging with your content, whether they follow your profile or not, including top cities, countries, age ranges, and genders. And then the third metric that they're adding is reached audience. So this, quote, is similar to engaged audience, and it will provide demographic information about the people you've reached with your posts in a given time period, including top cities, countries, age ranges, and gender. Essentially, they're going to be giving us a ton more information about the people who are interacting with our posts on Instagram, which I think is actually really helpful because I like to know who's looking at my content so that I can actually better create content for them. If you have more information about your audience, of course you're able to create better content that they're going to like more because you know who they are. If you don't know who they are, how are you supposed to create content that you know they're going to enjoy? So I actually really appreciate that Instagram did this. This is another one on the list of updates that I approve of. It's a short list compared to the giant list of updates I do not approve of and that literally make no sense. So I'm happy we got one on the good side. One other thing I do want to mention with this is they said, quote, when a brand promotes a creator's post with a paid partnership label or creates an ad without a pre-existing post, so like a whitelisting type of situation, that creator will now be able to see the performance of that ad, including reach, likes, comments, saves, and shares. Creators can now find this information by selecting the View Ads and Insights button within the branded content ads section and settings. So this is actually, it's really funny that they came out with this update because actually yesterday I was saying I would love to know what whitelisted ads I have going right now and what of my insights are coming from those whitelisted ads, because there's not really a place that I've ever been able to find on Facebook that shows you that information. If there is, please send me a message and let me know, because Facebook backend with ads is literally the hottest fucking mess to me. I look in there and I will straight up spend 2 minutes in there and then give up because it is near impossible for me to understand. So if you know where that is, please let me know. But this is some really helpful information on Instagram that you'll actually be able to see what's coming from your ads. Whether you're running them or a brand is running them, you will have that information now, which I think is very helpful. Second piece of news that we're going to be talking about, Instagram adds new collaboration options for Reels and feed posts. This is just another idea that Instagram had, my assumption to be as close to TikTok as possible. This almost reminds me of the Stitch feature on TikTok. Basically, they're calling it a collabs option, and I actually updated my app this morning and I did see this, so this is something that is out there already. You'll be able to invite your friends from the tagging screen. Like when you're going to edit a post and where you would tag a person, you can hit collaborate on a post and the other person will basically get a notification that you've requested to collaborate with them. if they accept this invitation, that post will show up on your feed and on their feed, and it will essentially show both of your names at the top of that post when people are scrolling through their news feed. I actually saw one, Justin Bieber did one, so random. It was Justin Bieber and some other really random older actress, I think. I can't remember who it was, but it was like Justin Bieber and maybe like Meryl Streep and Meryl Streep have a post together. And it was so weird because it was a post that was on both of their feeds. It said it was from both of them on the top of that post. So this is their collabs option. Again, I think this is a nod at the Stitch feature on Instagram, but really cool that it will actually show up on both of your feeds. So I can see this being a really cool option for if you and your friend take a really awesome photo together or something that you want to share on both of your feeds. You can have people coming from both directions for your one post, which I think is only going to be beneficial in terms of boosting your reach to their audience as well, and vice versa, maybe gaining some of their followers. Again, I can see it being very helpful. So I'm putting that one in the maybe section of I can see it being a good idea, but how many people are actually going to use it, I think is the question. Third new tip that we have here is that Instagram is adding new music-focused creator tools. Big surprise here, another nod at TikTok. Obviously, we know on TikTok just how important music can be for trends and things like that. So I feel like it makes a lot of sense that they would be starting to add more music-focused tools so that they can kind of take all of that fun stuff that comes from TikTok and bring it over to Instagram, whether it's on Reels or on regular posts. So two different things that they're adding. One is called Super Beat. There's actually going to be at least 6 from the photo that I saw. Super Beat is one of these new tools. It adds effects to a video aligned to the beat of the song. So I'm not sure if this will be like where you could add multiple videos and it will sync to the beat of the song, or if this will mostly be like just like random things that pop on the screen, synced to the beat of the song, but you will essentially be able to sync some sort of effects to the beat of music. Second thing here is called 3D lyrics. It displays song lyrics during video clips. For me personally, I can't really see how I would use this because I don't really see how song lyrics are ever going to be something that I would necessarily be sharing. So I personally can't see myself using it, but I think about like dance creators, actually like our guest that we'll have on later today. I think about him and I think this would be something really cool where he's doing his dance, the text is like above him moving, and I will say in the photo that I saw, it almost looked like the text was like wrapped behind this person's head. I don't know how to explain it. If you're watching the video, I have the screenshot up here. If not, go Google this and go look at what I mean because it's definitely really interesting. I don't know how they do it, if it is looking the way I think it does, but I think it would be really cool if that's the way it did it. So yeah, there's some new music focused features that will be coming. Those are only 2. I saw buttons for at least 6. However, they don't give you the details on all 6 just yet. So we'll see what those look like when they actually roll out. Number 4 here, Instagram is testing longer video option uploads to stories. This I like. I'm actually very excited to tell you about this one because I actually feel like this could be very useful for me as a creator, but also very useful for me as a user. I don't know about you, but I've been in situations where like someone will have multiple story slides of them talking about something that maybe doesn't interest me, and so I have to click through a million slides to get to their next story where they're not talking about that specific topic. So this is really cool. Basically what it will be, videos up to 60 seconds will no longer be broken up into segments. So you know how usually it would break up into 4 little screens on the bottom? It will not break those up into segments. So you will have basically one slide that's 60 seconds long, which is so cool. I really like that. And you can add music and effects to the entire video now. How annoying was it before when we had to add music to all 4 slides and try and match up where the first slide ended in the music and where the second slide started and through all 4 clips? A nightmare, and it never came out the way you wanted it to. So this could actually be really helpful, and I think this would be interesting to see how the click-through rate of people tapping forward looks after this, because I think people would be able to tap just once to get out of that segment of what I'm specifically talking about and move on to something else that maybe does interest them a little bit more. So I really like this option. Second thing they're actually doing with this is you will now be able to upload, or I guess this is something they're testing, you will not now be able to. They're testing the ability to upload full Reels clips to your story. So now you share a Reels clip to your story, it shows the first 15 seconds in that slide, and then you basically have to click on the reel to see the full thing. Now you'll be able to actually see a full 60-second Reel clip on your stories there. The third thing they're doing here is they're testing a new option that would redirect users to full Reels clips from stories when you share your Reels to stories. This to me seems a little weird. So in the top left-hand corner under your name, if you share a Reel to your story, you'll be able to click View Full Reel here. If a Reel at this point is 60 seconds, and we have the ability possibly to see the full 60 seconds on that story slide, why would I need to click that link up on the top? Wouldn't I just watch the story? Then my other question with that would be, do the views that I get from stories also count towards my Reel? Because I don't want to share my Reel to stories, have it not count as a view, but people be able to watch the whole thing, so there's no point in them clicking to go watch it. Could result in less views for a Reel, so that would be something I'd have a question about, but unfortunately I have not been able to find any information on that. This does make the last piece of news, though, a little obsolete if people can watch that whole 60 seconds. So this one, it seems pointless to me, but again, if they are planning on extending how long a Reel can be to 3 minutes, similar to TikTok, then obviously that makes a lot more sense for them, because then you would be able to click that link and actually go watch the full 3 minutes. You'd only be able to preview the 60 seconds. So, we'll see where that goes. The second to last piece of social media news I have here, this is a very small one. Instagram will now allow uploading through the desktop. So especially for social media managers or people who are trying to do as much on a desktop versus their phone, I know my eyesight, if I can do it on my computer, I would rather do it on my computer because my eyes are so squinty from being on phone all day. That I love the idea of uploading to the desktop. So only photos and videos that are less than 1 minute will be able to be uploaded via desktop at this point. No Reels and no stories at the moment, but they said at the moment. So that makes me think that they may be thinking about putting those on there as well. And one little piece of news, so my feed has officially switched over. I don't love it, I have to be honest with you. I think it killed a lot of the aesthetic that I had on my IGTV page, which sounds so annoying, but I had the names written out of all of them so people would know what every video was. Now it took all of the names away, so people literally have to click every single video in order to find out what the video is about. And I cannot see people taking the time to do that, so that worries me a little bit. However, I don't really pay attention to IGTV too much, so I'm not super worried about it, but I do think it is. But they do still have the little button that says series, so you'll be able to separate your videos into series. So I would highly suggest that you take advantage of this so that if people want to sort through your videos, not Reels, just your videos on that video tab, this is the only way that they can do it at this point, is through series. So when you are posting a new video, I would add it to the series. That makes most sense so that people can have some sort of categories to flip through when they're looking for a piece of content from you. So that was all of the Instagram news that I had for the week. Like I said, it has not even been a full week since I released the last episode. We're recording this early, so I'm really surprised at how much information was out there in the last week. I will say one thing, I do think that every time there are this many updates in a small period of time, which has been happening a lot in the last few months, everything on our end, on the actual app when we're going to post and our reach and our engagement and all of those things, I do feel like it has some sort of an effect when they're messing around in the back end with a lot of things. I do think that we end up getting the shit end of the stick at some point. And I will say, from what I've gathered talking with other people, other creators, everyone who is using this app for some sort of business, a lot of people in the last month or two have been really struggling to see a reach that feels like it makes sense for them, and engagement that feels like it makes sense for them. So if you feel like you're in that situation, I think it's first important to do a self-audit. Look at your content. Is it you? Because it could be you. You can't automatically blame bad engagement or bad reach on the algorithm. Are you doing everything in your power? If you are, then that's all you can do. Everything else is out of your hands. You have to, at some point, wipe your hands clean and say, look, I've done everything that I can do. Whatever happens, at least I was able to put out the piece of content that I wanted to put out. I'm proud of it, and that's all that should matter at that point. So do your self-audit. If you feel like you're doing everything, then you just need to focus on feeling good about your content, and the rest will come. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our amazing guest for this episode, Aaron Dodge. I am so excited for you guys to meet him, and I hope you really enjoy the rest of this episode. So we are here today with Aaron Dodge. Aaron, how are you? I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm fantastic. Super excited to be here too. Thank you for having me.
Yay. I feel like, of course, your answer was fantastic. You're always fantastic.
Fantastic. Fantastic is what I go with. And it really, it's sad how many people that it shocks. Like, let's say like the cashier at the gas station is like, it's like, fantastic. Like, I'm fantastic too. I'm like, well, then say it. Like, what do you
Yeah. Everyone's response is always good. That's it. So Aaron, okay, you are like TikTok king, dancing king, comedy king, content creator, just amazingness all overall. So I would love to kind of just get a little backstory on what you do, obviously for anyone who is kind of just meeting you here for the first time, but also how you got into what you do now.
Oh gosh. Can you give me, how long does this have to be?
I know.
Is this under 2 minutes? An hour? What do we got to
Give me your elevator explanation.
My elevator explanation. Well, I like to always break down these podcasts and stuff like that. I just feel like I'm cut from a different cloth. I call myself the black sheep of the family, and my mom won't be upset because this is like the 12th podcast I've called that on. Enneagram 7, Leo. I've always wanted to be in front of the camera. I joke when people say like, oh my God, TikTok was made for you. Those are friends of mine that have known me since middle school when I was like on the VHS. My life changed when I found out that my parents' VHS player can do slow motion, because I was like recording the VMAs and like slowing down in sync and Justin Timberlake doing all these different dances. And so literally dancing on TikTok was made for me. But yeah, I've always loved social media. I call myself whenever I'm teaching a class or whenever I'm pitching a client. I grew up in the Facebook world. Facebook was invented my freshman year of college. So it was like, friend me here, friend me there, poke me here, poke me there. Yes, I brought that.
Poking.
Nothing like poking a random girl in your English class and not even knowing her name. It's great. So I just like I've seen iterations. I've seen when you can start to add photos on Facebook. You can make albums on Facebook. Like it's so funny because when they asked me to go back into my, like, give me a throwback picture of you, Dodge. It's like, let me go to my first album I made in 2009 or 2006 on Facebook.
Yes.
But yeah, I've always loved social media. I've always wanted to be in front of the camera. I'm like I said, Enneagram 7. So I'm a Jim Carrey impersonator, lover of all those kind of things. And no way to sugarcoat it. I like to be the center of the attention. It doesn't bother me. You said 20 minutes ago on your Instagram story is like, oh my God, Andrew, he's looking at me. Like it's your loved one looking at you doing IG stories and you can't do it. I'm just like, point any camera that you want at me. I got another camera over here pointed at me right now. I got your camera pointed at me, but no, I've just always wanted to be in front of the camera, and then that has transitioned into my job. So we're obviously in the age of the creator. We thought we were a couple years ago, and then every single day keeps getting better and better and
Absolutely.
better. I've talked offline about that. If there's anybody listening right now, we're going to say this 100 times in here, but there's any time to think that I don't have enough to be a creator, I don't have enough followers, I don't have any of that, just throw it out the window because the time is now. But it started with iterations. It started with Facebook, and then it moved over to Instagram. I'll never forget posting my first video on Instagram. Oh my God, you can do 15 seconds of video on Instagram. I was in Minneapolis. It was like 2011, 2012. I just know where I was for all of these iterations. Then I got on Snapchat. Then That's when I was really into Gary Vaynerchuk. So he was like video. And so I've known how important video was. I went to and worked at an advertising agency that was working for a client that did not value video. And so I'm like, I got to get out of here. And I followed a friend of mine, and we built a small production company here in Charlotte that was doing event recaps, testimonial videos, social media videos, all of that. And then long story short, after two more years there, or 3 total years there, I decided to go off on my own, because in the middle of the pandemic, I saw what TikTok was doing, and I saw how it was shifting from people being bored and dancing at their house in like March, April, May, June of 2020 to like August hit. And it was just like, I'm a small business, buy my face cream, and then a video goes bonkers, and now this person's life has changed forever. So there's just a lot of people out there that were starting to do that with their business. And my first ever client out of leaving my full-time job had multiple success and multiple viral videos on TikTok, back when TikTok was easier to go viral is what I'll say. But like, we got multiple million view videos on TikTok, and we built from 0 to 35K on TikTok in a matter of months off of basically tricking the algorithm. And we had a very, I always say this with a grain of salt. We had a very purchasable product. It was it was the holler tags that you put on the back of your phone, and if you're at an event, they can tag and file on all your socials and stuff like that. So we grew that. And so I came out of going into business for myself, was like TikTok consultant, content creator, all of that. Let's do all those kind of things. But now, as I just passed 1 year of owning my own business, crazy.
Yay.
I have now settled into like, I call myself really like a 3-headed monster. So I do social media consulting, which is nice. I take a step back. One of my clients has like a social media manager, and she handles all of the analytics and the posting, but it is my job to ideate on what is happening on TikTok and IG Reels. How can that work for their business? How can we tackle a trend? Squid Game just came out. Let's make a Squid Game post, or like, so yeah, and I've seen a lot of TikTok consultants and other different people talk about making money as a trend finder. And that is like, once again, if you're listening to this and you like to be on TikTok and IG Reels, and you can bring value to a company, and you can bring value to a company just by suggesting, hey, this red flag trend is popping off on Twitter right now. You might want to tweet a red flag about your business, like something like that. So
yes,
being able to understand what those trends are, what's happening with those trends, how they can be moved into that business that you oversee. So that's social media consulting. So that's one bucket. Content creation, which is basically like, I can be the face of your brand if you want me to completely take over your content creation. I wouldn't say like take over your social channels because of all the and stuff like that, but anybody can hire me to come on and be the face of your skincare brand or anything like that. And then on the other side is influencing, which is just, paid to post. And so up until I went into business for myself, so up until 2020, just because I like to bring transparency to these kind of things. The most I'd ever been paid for a single group of postings on social media was $350 for a couple posts. And it is now, I'm not gonna say the total number, but it's not as much as you, but it's up there. But will be over 10x of what I've done in the past, just in 2020. And there's still a few months left, and not a lot of people know that I have a Grinch costume and will be worn again for the holidays. So if anybody out there is looking for some Grinch content, you can reach out to me.
Okay, well, I mean, as long as we know you have a Grinch costume, I feel like that's very valuable information. And I just think that is something that if people aren't following you, they need to follow you specifically to see the Grinch costume and the content that you're about to come up with that. Because I remember last year you had some good Grinch ones. So I'm excited.
I thought that me riding a skateboard, like the guy with the ocean spray,
yes.
and in the Grinch costume biting into an onion, I thought for sure I would get a viral video of that. It didn't happen, but it's content. See, it's and that's the part of content creation that I love, especially where I'm at right now. You know, I said to myself in the car, like last night, I'm like, I need to have another client. I need to have another client. I'm just like, no, you don't. Treat yourself like a client, because I haven't treated myself like a client. I've treated myself like, I should probably post today. Like, no, you need to, Aaron Dodge, what's the best thing for Aaron Dodge to post tomorrow? So if you can sit down and treat yourself like a client, that's where the ROI is. Everybody always talks about ROI. Is the ROI for me to send 15 cold emails off LinkedIn, or is an ROI for me to put my best piece of content forward because you don't know who's going to see something?
Right.
You know, I got a text message a couple of minutes ago from a client that said, this video is ready for approval, and we sent it to Walmart and they loved it too. And I'm like,
amazing.
Excuse me? Like Walmart? You just don't know. You don't know who's going to see your content. That's content creation 101. You're not just going to say like, I'm not going to post until another person pays for a post. No, you have to be creating every single day. And on TikTok and IG Reels, if you're a content creator right now, a true content creator, and you tell me you have nothing to talk about, you are lying, because there are sounds that are being given to you. There are videos that everybody is doing. Like we used to sit around and say like, God, what skit can I do today? Or what impression can I like try to scrub from YouTube and like bring into Facebook or Instagram that's not going to get flagged? Like, can we talk about like the flagging portion of Instagram? Like if you had a song that you dance to as a choreographer in the back of your dance studio that's 90 feet away from the audio, you got flagged on Instagram and Facebook. Now we're just like, nah, we're good. We're just going to flood because they saw what audio was happening with TikTok.
Exactly. So let me ask you a question, because you are obviously on both TikTok and Instagram, but I think from what I've gathered from following you for however long it's been now, I feel like you probably prefer TikTok, if I had to guess. So between the two of them, like, what are your pros and cons? What do you put more effort into? What do you feel like is easier for you to monetize? Like, how do you feel about the two platforms? Because I know for me, and I think our answers are probably different for this. Like for me, I'm more on the like influencer side versus content creator, whereas I feel like you're so heavy into content creation and dip into influencing. So I feel like we almost come at it from different perspectives. So I'm curious to know like how you feel about the two different platforms.
My answer would have been drastically different 3 months ago when IG Reels didn't have it. Let's just say
True. Okay.
I love them both. I was having this conversation with my roommate last night. Just like multiple people that have multiple social media platforms, they are two completely different platforms, and they are for me, they are two completely different followers.
Yeah.
You wanted me to post a video telling my TikTok to donate or purchase this t-shirt, not going to get too many sales. But the people that have been following me since 2012, they're going to buy whatever I am passionate about or love about. So I have 6,400 followers on Instagram, and I got a viral video 5 days ago, and I just crossed 30,000 on TikTok. So they're completely different. Most of my followers from TikTok are from my David Rose impressions. Fun fact, I absolutely love to dance, and you'll see that on my TikTok. And I don't get any traction on my dance videos. That's just something that I love. But every once in a while, an impression will garner me another couple thousand followers. So the funny thing is TikTok is ever changing, and it's getting, everything that they're doing is getting better, and they're incorporating more effects. So I mean, it's really hard to put them right up. They have positives for each. Obviously, when we see that, I was going to text you today, but I just got the play button on Instagram just updated for me. My TV button is gone now, so my play button. So now I got to understand what's the this play button comparable. So now we got the IG Reels portal, we got the video portal, we got Instagram stories but then we got TikTok on the other side. But so here's my cadence for those listening. I am find a concept and trends from TikTok. They get screen recorded and they get put on to IG Reels. Mm-hmm. None of my IG Reels have really popped off. Things that went very viral on TikTok have not done anything on IG Reels. I don't know if it's the screen recording. I actually the next 3 months, my goal is going to try to do what I tell my clients to do, which is find a high ranking audio on IG Reels and keep it all in IG Reels. So I really want to try to do that. Because my formula isn't working. Am I growing? Yes. But like my formula, like I see all these people out there, like I went from 5K to 100K just by posting 2 to 3 reels a day back when when they were pumping reels.
Right.
So once again, I'm treating myself as a client, as Aaron, whatever is making me the happiest and I know will make my followers the happiest is what I'm doing. Like if I took a step back for myself and I looked at myself as a client, I'm not doing IG Reels the way that I really should be, but I am happier this way. And so I just wanted to continue, a funny video that I thought could have got traction last night on TikTok. I brought it over to IG today, and all of my friends that have been following me for 5+ years thought it was the funniest thing in the world. It's not exploding on either platform. It's just kind of doing well.
Right.
Once again, another opportunity for me to look funny, another opportunity for me to do a voiceover, another opportunity for somebody to see a piece of content that they've never seen before. So when you're in business for yourself and you're creating more content, it only takes one video. As the guy,
absolutely,
the dog face for the ocean spray. That's what keeps me going every single day. Is it only takes one video, and I know that if I'm 35 now and I haven't hit that quote unquote video yet or whatever, but that's totally fine because I just know that every single time that I think of something funny when I write it down in my notes app, like this would be hilarious, and so continuing to put out authentic content. Like I feel like authenticity has been tops on people's list when it comes to your content, but like I said, the old influencer is gone. Like that's like you have to bring your authenticity to the forefront, and when you do that, people will latch on. So
yeah, and I really love what you said about like making yourself a client, because I actually have had kind of the same like revelation recently where I have all of my mentorship students, and I will go through like every single piece of content with them and go through and again find where we're lacking or what we're doing really well and dissect their profile and go so deep into theirs. But I do the same thing where I'm just like, okay, well, I have to do this. Let me get this. Like, it seems more of a chore for myself, but for everyone else, I put so much work into it. And even with like between Soulcialmate and my own profile, sometimes on my own, I'm just like, okay, well, again, let me just get it up there. Let me just, post what I need to post. And then I'll like work on pushing Soulcialmate a little bit harder. And so I've kind of been taking the same steps to like, how can I feel like my own personal Instagram is less of a chore and just, again, focus on the type of content that I like making and that maybe I made previously before I found out like what worked well. Because I feel like sometimes when you find something that works well or performs well after you share it once, you get so hooked on creating that type of content because you're like, okay, well, I know it does well. So you're like just trying to get all the numbers in, but after a certain point, you may not even want to make that content anymore, but you sometimes feel so obligated to do it. So I like the idea of treating myself as a client. And I've been having the same kind of thoughts recently, for sure.
Every creator, every small business owner feels.
Oh, yeah. You are obviously a content creator for yourself, but you also work with other companies and have clients. So you were working with a company, that wasn't just yours. So when did you decide like, okay, I need to just go off and do this on my own? And what things did you need to like kind of check off before you actually went and did that? Because I think a lot of people listening would love to be able to quit their jobs and do this for themselves, even if it's just creating their own content and not necessarily working for other companies, but just finding a way to make this a sustainable income. So what were the things that you had to do and made sure that you checked off before you decided like, all right, it's time to go off on my own?
Yeah. The biggest thing over the last 2-3 years that I've really hopped into more than I ever have, and I think it's something that we don't talk about enough, is just very straightforward finances.
Yeah.
What do you, how much money do you have to feel safe? How much money do you have in your emergency fund? How much money are you putting away? Like all those kind of things. This is going to sound hilarious, but I screenshotted my net worth and sent it to my parents and said, like, I'll be fine if I fall on my face for the first 6 months. Like,
I love that.
I was like, Denise, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. First couple months were rough, but I mean, we got through it. So, obviously understanding what your value is. I'm not a business plan guy. I really am not. This is the second time I've went off on my own. I fell on my face the first time. So I knew I had to make some changes, but I just knew that I had more knowledge in the market. So obviously you have to understand what you're going to, go in for. I was like, I can create content. The other thing I said, what's your ability to bring value? I knew about TikTok. I knew that when in August and September, when I decided to leave the company and go all in on myself, I understood that there was going to be a magnitude of CMOs saying hey, social media manager, if you're not on TikTok, you need to find somebody to help us with TikTok because TikTok is so important now. It's that was kind of around the area where people are like, is this gonna survive when everyone's not sitting at home in the pandemic? And once we found that answer, it was oh my gosh, now Nike's on TikTok and Lululemon's on TikTok and Chipotle's on TikTok and all these kind of people all these big players are on TikTok. So I saw that opportunity as well. And then it was just very bare bones. If I don't go in business for myself, I'm gonna, I hate regret. So I'm gonna be laying and, on my deathbed when I'm 100 because I'm vegetarian, I'm gonna live to be 100. So I'm just if I'm sitting there and I didn't do this, I would be upset because obviously, and then I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to, work and bring value to people for my dream, to build my business, to, do this for me. This is, it's funny because the easiest thing for you to do is just take your last name, put media behind it and call it LLC. Launch Media LLC. But it's really cool because it's not I don't want to be big. The first book that I ever got from a friend that changed the way that this first year went for me was Company of One. And it's a great book that talks about staying very lean. If you need to outsource something to someone, do that. But it is just it's your business, stay in your lane, do what you do best. And if you need somebody, don't bring in an employee and just outsource everything. It's exactly what I've done this year, and it allowed me to stay very lean. A lot of people come to me, Aaron Dodge, for video production. I don't own a camera besides my cell phone. So have some of my content obviously within TikTok is being filmed directly from my camera, or when I go to a client's house, I'm just this is going up on IG Reels. Let's film it on your phone or my phone. So I do video production without any cameras because I didn't want to foot the bill for that. So now if I have a large project, I have two very trusted friends that used to work at the video production company with me that I bring on. One does motion graphics, one is really good with lighting, and I'm just picking and playing with these contractors, but buddies of mine that they went into business for themselves. We all kind of have this nice ecosystem here at this office that I rent out of, and staying very lean was a great way to do that. So that's another opportunity for you to, as a small business owner, the leaner you are, the better take home pay you're going to receive each month. So
absolutely,
so understanding my finances, understanding that with TikTok exploding, I had a little bit more value to bring the world than I had just basically of being on Facebook and Instagram the years past. Now I was I got another social media app in my back pocket that I can
master.
Master, bring value to people with. And then the regret, I just wanted to do it. And the other thing too is I wanted to be able to, when you're a content creator, if I said this a couple of days ago, if I stub my toe getting out of bed at 7 a.m. and I want to write a skit about stubbing my toe that everybody can relate to on my social media, if I'm working for somebody else, I have to wait the entire day to tell that story. And that is when you should be a content creator. If you're working for somebody else and you have this tick and your right eye is twitching the entire day because you just wanted to create a piece of content for yourself while you're working for someone else, you probably could be a full-time content creator. So the fact that as soon as I get off this, there's a fun dance out on TikTok right now. I'm going to go to the back of my office and film the TikTok because that's just what I want to do. And it's my business and I can do that on my own time. So I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love the idea of like the fact that the regret is something, or I guess like being scared of regret is what really pushed you to do what you're doing now. And I was in the same situation with my old business. So when I lived back in Massachusetts, I had like a salon, spa, photography studio business with a friend of mine. And our motto, every business step that we took, our motto was just like, well, we won't know if we try. Like, let's just do it and see what happens. And every time we would try something new, we'd be like, okay, did this work? Did this not work? What can we change next time? And obviously, the more you try and the more you put yourself out there, of course, you're going to learn things that again are good or bad. So we took a lot of those risks too, and definitely it all paid off. So I think that idea of just like believing in yourself enough to be like, you know what? If this doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. I learned from it and I can figure out what I want to do next based on this new information that I have. So I kind of want to switch it up a little bit and talk a little bit about kind of mental health. Because again, like I introduce you as, you're high energy, you are like always happy, always excited. And I'm sure that's not the reality of it. I know you shared like a few times on stories when you're just having a bad day, which is obviously something that we all go through. But as someone who is such a positive person, or even viewed as such a positive person, what do your down days look like when you're still expected to be a business owner and still come out with this funny, exciting content? Like, how do you deal with all the pressure and that kind of stuff that's maybe out of your control within your business and on social media?
Great question. I mean, I'm trying to think back to my like first year of owning my business, and I never really, I can't really think of a time where I was looking at the camera and I was just like mentally, I'm not there, like, and having to like message a client and say, you're not going to get the video today, you'll get it tomorrow. I'm just
Yeah.
actually, luckily I'm there. But my mental health story dipped the lowest during COVID, because I actually had COVID, and I had COVID pretty darn bad. I had some lung issues and some heart issues that I had to get some testing for, and had to go get an MRI and be in a tube for 2 hours by myself, and so that was
No.
a little bit of a struggle there. But mental health is, I think everybody was going crazy this week with Jonah Hill, who was talking a lot about Instagram and how,
Yes.
what would your life be like if Instagram, was gone tomorrow? I try to get up a little bit earlier in the morning. I try to, one of my new favorite hacks is, I'm not going to get an alarm clock, but my phone can be my alarm clock. But like I try to do my first hour without my phone. I think that helps out a lot. It starts my day a little bit more fresh. I can start my day with, information from a good book or from a good meditation, and can kind of start my day that way, because it's definitely something that I've had to keep my eye on. I have had some hard days in the recent months with things going on around our country, things going on around with the pandemic and stuff like that. There's a lot of people out there that have hit their lowest during this time. But what I try to do is just understand that it's not. Luckily, all of my clients understand what I do and what I bring. So if my mental health was detrimental to a piece of content that needed to be made, they would understand that. And I think that's, you want to align with people and partners and clients that have the same morals and the same values as you, because it goes right back to working for a company. I would hope that if I worked at a company, I said to my employer that I need a mental health day, that they would understand that that's I'm not going to Carowinds. I'm actually going to mentally decompress. But yeah, it's been a little bit of a challenge this year, especially in the recent months when I know I'm in social media, but it's still even scary to share that I'm on my phone 9 to 11 hours a day.
Yep. Same with me. I agree.
Yeah. And so I try my best to be present when I'm with friends, with family, and stuff like that. So, but it has been a little bit of a challenge, because, not only am I back to having to create, but it's like, I'm kind of known as Dodge with the ideas, where's
Yep.
the where's the next idea coming from? So it's tough because there's times, I'm at 10 o'clock on 8 to 10 o'clock on Monday, I'm writing my TikTok Tuesday email, which I try to give 2 to 4 trends each week on my TikTok Tuesday email. And there's sometimes at 8 o'clock that I've decompressed all weekend. And so when I decompress on the weekend, I don't get served trends, which I don't see what's happening on TikTok. I don't see what's happening on IG Reels. And so, there's some times where, I want to write in my email, I'm sorry, but I didn't see any trends this week because I just wasn't on it because I needed to focus on my mental health. So it's a challenge sometimes, but luckily I've been blessed personally with a lot of self-awareness. And I think understanding yourself and what makes you the happiest, whether that be the amount of time, whether that's the screen time, the amount of the communication between you and your clients. There's a magnitude of people out there that do not communicate at certain times, and the client knows that and they know that. That's a way that they separate and stuff like that. But I want to continue to bring value for my clients. So I do have to sometimes be on it when I'm not really feeling it, but there's other times where I'm just like 8 o'clock hits and there's a basketball game on and I just won't look at it until I go to bed, until the next morning. So
yeah. And one thing I do notice that you do very well, and I think a lot of people probably really appreciate, is when you are open enough to say like, today sucks. I'm having a bad day today. It's, I'm not going to be on here pretending that I'm the happiest person ever today because it's just not a good day for me. And so many influencers and content creators, I think, get on stories or whatever it is, Reels, TikTok, and act like everything is perfect. But it's so important for you to be honest when it's not, because it really shows people that it's okay to have a bad day, which is honestly so sad that we even have to clarify that for people. But that's what social media does. Obviously it shows you, again, a highlight reel. We've heard that a million times. I will say I did see the Jonah Hill thing, and the way he was like, what if Instagram just shut down at 6 p.m. and everyone had the night to live their normal lives? And I was like, that would be the best thing ever. I would be so pumped about that, because I would love to just get it done in the day and then be able to clock out like a normal person who has a normal 9-to-5 job. But for anyone in social media, clocking out at 5 p.m. is near impossible. Even if you have to just log back on for a few minutes to finish something or answer an email, for you to put all your devices away at 5 p.m. I think is near impossible.
It's a challenge, but if you I just have time management is something that I definitely need to work on as a small business owner. So my trouble is like, oh, I have a free evening, I can put in 2 hours tonight. So that's that's like something that I need to continue to work on, is because I look at that and I say, well, if I don't finish it now, like after my workout, I'll do it. And then my workout gets done and I'm just like, I really wish I could decompress. Well, if you worked a little bit harder during the day, dancing at 4 o'clock, like I'm about to do, you would have more, so those kind of things. It just goes back to the being your own boss. You gotta push yourself. I told a friend today, I was like, if there's something that you didn't want to do, like if there's something like, I just don't want to clean my room today. Well, if you walked out of your room and did nothing, you're just like, now you're going to think about it. So now I've just tried to, at the very simple, like, what's 2 things I can do today? Okay, I can put the clothes away and then I'll handle the other stuff. So it's just small, tiny little changes can go such a long way when it comes to, finishing a task and continuing to make yourself
Efficient.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great word.
You've probably heard me talk about this before because I love this method, but you're almost describing this whole like eat the frog method, where it's basically like, you think of the tasks that are the most daunting or like things you just don't want to do and you keep putting off, and you just get them done first thing in the morning so that, like the whole rest of the day, they're not like dwelling on you and you're like, oh, I'm going to have to do this after. So I love doing that because I will always put tasks off that I don't want to do. But if you just get them done, you feel so much better for the rest of the day. And the rest of the day seems a lot more enjoyable when you just get the crap away in the beginning.
Yeah.
So, okay, I have one more question for you, and I'm really interested to hear your answer to this because I think about this a lot and I don't know what my answer is really. So if you had to guess, like just based on the information we have in the world now, What do you feel like the future of social media looks like? That's a loaded question.
That is not where I thought you were going. Oh gosh. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, here's one thing I will say, because when I looked at when we sat back, because I wasn't really on Musical.ly before TikTok. I tried to, and it just I couldn't get into it. There is definitely enough people on the planet, and there's definitely space for another social media app. So, because I thought that there was no space for TikTok, and
Right.
lo and behold, look at what ended up happening. So someone's out there making the next TikTok. So I definitely think that there is no such thing in 2021 with the amount of people with phones and on social media. There's no such thing of like, there's not enough space for another app, because I really do think that and I think you would agree with me that like 2015, 2016, 2017, we were Snapchat was popping, and Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. So we had like those four core, like a little bit of Vine in there too, if you want to throw back
Vine.
a bit. Yes.
Oh, rest in peace.
RIP. But I think a lot of social media managers would say like, I don't think that there's another app that could really fit into this ecosystem. And then TikTok came and just destroyed every single record, and they're continuing to grow. So I want to be like a cool techie guy and say like AR and VR, but like I think that my basic answer would be that any social media can come at any point now. I think that TikTok has shown us that. So I don't know what that looks like. I think that technology is going to continue to do that. I have a friend that left his job to start a virtual dating app that allows people to, like, if your spouse or loved one lives in another city, you can rent out a virtual cabin and you can have your date be like in a cabin. Like
what?
A virtual cabin, yeah. So, and then the other thing too is like, I don't want to say the word pandemic, but like a lot of things manifested out of the pandemic. So there could be a tragedy or a new technology or something that could come in that doesn't even exist yet. I mean, I continue to remind people how young the iPhone is. Like the iPhone is crazy young, comparable to, if you look at the lifeline of some of the things that really pushed our country forward hundreds and hundreds of years. But you're just like, the iPhones, like, look at how much iPhone and Facebook and Apple have exponentially pushed our lives forward in the last, let's just even say 10 years.
Small amount of time, exactly.
Small amount of time. So like, there's going to be like, Oculus is going to come out and you're going to be able to, like, blink and, swipe right on this person, swipe left on this person, just with like glasses. Like it's going to get crazier, because that's just the way that we're headed. We're not, some people are saying that, like, the iPhone's going to go away soon and we're going to be doing things on other places. I think that's going to happen, but obviously we still have a good,
I think so too,
of, an opportunity for all these apps to continue to grow and continue copying each other. So hopefully
Instagram. Awesome. All right, so where can people find you? What is next for you? Give us a little bit more information there.
Sure. So you can follow me primarily on Instagram and TikTok. That's where you're gonna get the most laughs and the most value out of me. So that's Aaron_Dodge and on TikTok and IG. I'm over on Twitter. Aaron_Dodge guy will not give me my name, so it's Mr_Aaron_Dodge. I don't get over to Twitter as much as I would like to. I have little things, like nuggets of information that I've dropped that I feel about social media. I'd love to get those over on Twitter, but I don't tweet as much as I would like to. But that's where people follow me. Like I said, I'm super blessed that 1 year under the belt as a small business owner, and like I said, I finally found my like 3 silos that I like to sit in. I'm excited for the next couple of months because, like I said, my Grinch guy is coming back out. I just ordered a second mask to have a backup mask. So I'm I'm hoping to do TikTok content. I'm hoping to do IG Reels content. I'm hoping to tell all of my clients that I had in 2021 that if they want to incorporate the Grinch into any of their content, that I'm happy to help with them there. I might even do portraits with little kids as the Grinch. I just thought in the car today, driving here to my office, like I could do a Zoom with kids and kids.
Love that.
10-minute Zoom of the Grinch. Like, how fun would that be?
Amazing.
I just to do, I just could do Jim Carrey impressions for an hour. One mountain's toxic sludge is another mountain's potpourri.
It's creepy how good you are at that. Awesome.
I can't tell you how excited I was when I finally looked up like what Enneagram I was. I figured out I was a 7, and the website says like, and other Enneagram 7s, Jim Carrey and Robin Williams. And I was like, I've never felt so loved in my life.
So connected.
It all makes sense.
Right. And you also have an awesome newsletter that people can subscribe to. Is that just like a link in your bio?
Yeah, link in my Instagram, my link tree in both my TikTok
Cool.
and my Instagram. TikTok Tuesday, I try to hit you with something funny. I try to hit you with 2 to 4 trends per week with a little bit of TikTok news and
Yes.
TikTok information at the end. I've been doing it for, my buddy said, Substack, you can just like write an email and people can just like read it. I was like, what? And so, for some reason, people like me to write because I'm the worst grammar and spelling and everything person, and it just I write the way that I talk. So it's just like
You do. It's
right.
Very funny. I can hear like when I'm reading your emails, I'm always hearing it in your voice.
Literally, I wrote a sentence today. It was like, in my TikTok email last week, it said, "Who doesn't like a good way to start your Tuesday with a RuPaul sound from TikTok?" And I was just like, that's something I would say. That is literally something I would say. So yes, I do enjoy that. If you are in Charlotte, I MC the Checkers hockey team here, the AHL hockey team. I'm actually doing some rehearsals tonight. So our season's coming back. So I'll be back on the mic, which I'm super excited for. And that means more time with our mascot and more time potentially dancing on the ice, which a lot of my first TikToks in October of 2019 were dances with Chubby and the Checkmates at the Checkers game. So that was when I first, I was like, oh my God, I got
this is fun.
views on this. Like, what is this TikTok thing? So it's actually kind of funny. I might be reposting some of those because it's just like so funny that literally a blink of an eye and here we are. I don't even know what it is.
2 years later.
And thanks for doing my math for me. And here we are 2 years later, and I'm making money on TikTok. I'm helping other people get views on TikTok. It's just crazy how much time can really change things. So
Definitely.
Cheers to the next 5.
Yay. All right. Well, thank you so much. I will probably see you at one of the hockey games. Andrew and I are very excited to go to them, and I'm excited to hear you MC them for sure. So thank you so much for coming on here. You guys should all go follow Aaron. He honestly is my daily laugh every day. He's very entertaining, as you can tell, very awesome person. So thank you so much for coming on here, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for having me. Excited for this podcast and what you got coming up here soon.
Yay.